morning, students! Welcome to another fun-filled episode in Learning Mathematics Grade 10. I am your teacher Joy and I will be your virtual teacher for today's lesson. Join me as we uncover, explore, and learn the fun world of Mathematics Grade 10. Get ready also with your pen as well as your paper for the activity in this video lesson. Before we start, let me remind you to stay focused, watch and listen attentively, and avoid distractions. Before we formally start our lesson, do you want an icebreaker? Of course you are. So here is our game. So it is entitled as Guess What Is in the Picture. But before that, here are the mechanics of the game. Number 1, pictures will be presented on your screen. Number 2, clues will be given so that you can answer what is in the picture. And number 3, guess the words or event that is being described in each pictures. Are you ready? Okay, so let's begin.
So here is the first pictures. So it spreads throughout the world, causing economic state of every country to subside. It is where people are forced to wear masks and maintain a 1 meter distance among people. What event is being described in each picture? You are correct. The answer is coronavirus disease. Next number. Number 2, it is usually learned in science classroom and they are visible only when you use a microscope. Can you guess what is in these pictures? You are correct. These pictures describe a bacteria or germs. Next number 3. This is what people gain when they invest their money in a business or if they save money in the bank. What is being described in these pictures? Yes, you are correct again. It describes interest. Okay, so how about this last group of pictures? It is experienced during Christmas and in some parts of the world usually comes during winter season. Can you guess what are these pictures all about? You are correct. They are snowflakes.
Did you enjoy our short game? That's great. But based from the pictures given, what are the common among each pictures? From the bacteria, from the virus, and from the interest, and from the snowflakes form. How does the coronavirus multiply or infected people all over the world? And how does bacteria or germs multiply so fast? And how about your money that you are being invested in a bank? Or how does the snowflakes become a beautiful figure? So that is the real application of what we are going to discuss today, which is the geometric sequence. Before we start, let us be guided with the following learning objectives. At the end of this video lesson, you are expected to 1. Define a geometric sequence. 2. Identify the common ratio. And 3. Find the nth term of a geometric sequence. So let us define what is a geometric sequence. A geometric sequence is a sequence where each term after the first is obtained by multiplying the preceding term with the same non-zero constant number called the common ratio. A common ratio is obtained by dividing the second term divided by the first term, or the third term divided by the second term, or the fourth term divided by the third term, and so on. So let's have examples of how to find the common ratio of a geometric sequence. So let's have an example on how to find the common ratio of a geometric sequence. Consider the first example. So we have 3, 9, 27, blank, and blank. What is the next two terms? So this sequence is an example of geometric sequence. So how do we find the common ratio? So let us divide the second term divided by the first term. So let us divide 9 divided by 3. So 9 divided by 3 is equal to 3. That is the common ratio. Next, we can also divide third term divided by the second term. Or 27 divided by 9 is equal to 3. If a sequence have the same common ratio, it is called a geometric sequence. So the next term in the sequence 3, 9, 27, the next two terms are 81 and 243. Another example number 2. Negative 2, negative 4, negative 8, and negative 16. What are the next two terms? So we divide the second term divided by the first term. So negative 4 divided by negative 2. The answer is positive 2. Next, we divide negative 8 divided by negative 4. The answer is, or the common ratio is, also a positive 2. So this is also an example of a geometric sequence. So the next terms in this sequence are negative 32 and negative 64.
So let's try this activity. Find the common ratio and the next two terms of 5, 10, 20, and 40, and 8, 4, 2, and 1.
So let's have number 3 example. So we have the sequence 5, 10, 20, 40, and so on. What are the next two terms? So let us first get the common ratio. So how do we get the common ratio? Let us divide the second term divided by the first term. So we have 10 divided by 5 is equal to 2. Or we could divide the third term divided by the second term. So we have 20 divided by 10, or that is equal to 2. And then we multiply the common ratio to the last term, which is 40. So 40 times 2 is equal to 80. And then 80 times 2 is equal to 160. So the next two terms in the sequence 5, 10, 20, 40 are 80 and 160. So let's have another example. So example number 4. So we have the sequence 8, 4, 2, and 1. What are the next two terms? So the first step is we get the common ratio of the second term divided by the first term, or the third term divided by the second term. So we divide 4 divided by 8. The answer is 1/2, or 4 or 2 divided by 4, that is also equal to 1/2. And then we multiply the common ratio, which is equal to 1/2 times 1, or that is 1/2, and then 1/2 times another 1/2, that is equal to 1/4. So in the sequence 8, 4, 2, and 1, the next two terms are 1/2 and 1/4. So you already know how to find the common ratio of a given geometric sequence. Now, how to find the nth term of a given geometric sequence. So here is how to solve the nth term, or finding the nth term of a given geometric sequence. It is using the formula a sub n is equal to a sub 1 multiplied by r raised to n minus 1.
Where a sub n is the nth term, a sub 1 is equal to the first term, r is equal to the common ratio, and n is the term position. Let's try to find the nth term of a geometric sequence. For example, find the fifth term of the sequence 8, 16, and 32. So let's have the solution. First, we identify what are the given. So a sub 1 is equal to 8, which is your first term. Your common ratio can be obtained by dividing the second term divided by the first term, which is equal to 16 divided by 8, or that is equal to 2. And our n is equal to 5 because it is the term which we are going to solve. So, using the formula a sub n is equal to a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1. So we substitute these values in this formula. So a sub n, so n substitute or replace it with 5, that is equal to a sub 1, 8. Your r is equal to 2, and then your n is equal to 5 minus 1. Simplifying our answer, so we have a sub 5 is equal to 8 times 2 raised to 5 minus 1, which is equal to 4. And then a sub 5 is equal to 8, and 2 raised to 4 is equal to 16. And lastly, we multiply 8 times 16. The answer is 128. So the fifth term in the sequence 8, 16, 32 is equal to 128. To sum up, geometric sequence is a sequence where each term after the first is obtained by multiplying the preceding term by the same non-zero constant called the common ratio. And common ratio can be obtained by dividing the second term divided by the first term, or the third term divided by the second term, and so on. While finding the nth term of a geometric sequence, we use the formula a sub n is equal to a sub 1 times the quantity r raised to n minus 1, where a sub n is equal to the nth term, a sub 1 is equal to the first term, r is equal to the common ratio, and n is the term position.
Congratulations, grade 10 learners, for a job well done. You are now ready to answer the activities that is prepared only for you.
Try to solve the following practice exercises. It's time to get ready for your pen and paper and solve the following problems. So number 1, find the common ratio and the next two terms in the following geometric sequence. Number 1, 8, 16, 32, 64. Number 2, negative 2, 6, negative 18, 54. Number 3, 27, 9, 3, and 1. And find the nth term of the following geometric sequence. Number 1, negative 48, 24, 12. Find the sixth term. And number 2, 4, 16, 64, and solve for the fifth term. And for your assignment, try to answer the following questions. So find the common ratio and the next two terms of the following geometric sequence. And find also the nth term of the following geometric sequence. You can write your answer on your notebook and we will check it on our next lesson.
Thank you, grade 10 learners, for this wonderful video lesson. I hope you learned something from me. See you again into our next video lesson.